Wednesday, Wednesday, Wednesday. Yeah, I'll just say that over and over in my. Okay, let's start over. It's Wednesday, and it's time for. Actually, there will be some paint sometime today. There will be some paint happening somewhere. Um, I've got all these parts for step one primed. Okay, and then they're labeled here under these little pieces of tape. And as I said before, I'm just going to build one of these engines and take it all the way through to step 9 here, because I want to see how much of this engine actually shows. Right? I mean, this bit is a gigantic supercharger. There's a big fan in here that compresses the air and pushes it into the cylinders. Okay. Um, to increase the performance of the engine, especially at higher altitudes where there isn't as much, where the air pressure is lower. And I want to do that because, as I have said so many times now, this is a lot of detail on the engine, and it's a shame for it to just disappear. So I'm going to I'm going to build one all the way through the point where it goes into the pylon, that. I am going to be incoherent today, aren't I? Yes, I am. Here I am being incoherent. Um, but I want to see how this all goes together, how much of it shows, and whether it is going to be possible, if, if possible, to potentially fabricate just a couple of parts like this and this, okay, that I know are going to show. Maybe that's all there is. Maybe those are the only parts that are going to show, and the rest of it can figure out how how much of this, if anything, maybe just the bulkhead. I mean, I don't know. I mean, none of this might show at all. And if none of this shows at all, then it should be possible to just put like the bottom part here and the bulkhead. Um, and maybe some of the piping or something. Maybe that's all it would take to be visible once the pylon is put together. So what I'm going to do today is, well, since these are, I've got lots of cardboard, right? So I'm going to just, as I progress with the engine, assuming there's a progression with the engine. Okay, that's a big assumption, but assuming that there is a progression with the engine, what I'm going to be doing today is testing some of the colors. There's two really. There's metal black, aluminum. Well, there's more. There's metal black, light gray, aluminum, and chrome for the propeller shaft. But the metallic aluminum and the silver, the chrome, I've already got those colors. I'm going to use duraluminum and chrome, but I've got two options for the metal black that I want to compare with each other. And I've got a number of light grays. I bought one that's supposedly matches aircraft, actual real aircraft paint. And then I've got a Viejo one and a Tamiya one, and I'm going to test those and see how they look. That, and then I'll be using half of these parts and then the other half I'll just leave on the cardboard, except probably for these tiny pieces here. I don't know, they might be safe on the tape if I just leave them on the tape and put them in a box. So yeah, I'm gonna just set these aside. There they are, set aside. And these paints here are like brand new. What I'm going to do with them, these weird little rubber parts, I'm not sure how that's going to go. So in my effort to start the stream by making a huge mess, um, I've got these little BBs or copper tone BBs here. Okay. And I'm going to use those as mixing balls in the paints. Yeah, I messed up my finger yesterday. I don't know. This bandage is protecting it, but I'm not sure that that's going to be a very good long-term solution here. Open this. I think there's a protective, yeah, there's a protective seal on there. Great. Yeah, I'm going to take this off and hope that just hope that it's okay. Should be okay. Yeah, see here, I just did something really dumb. I was being careful until I wasn't. And at the point where I wasn't careful, then it was bad. And I hurt myself. It's not bleeding. It doesn't look like it's infected. That's good. Okay, I'm going to put two of these little guys in here. And then this is going to need massive stirring. It's supposed to be light gray. Okay. And you can see how the light gray color has separated from the solvent. So it's going to need more than just that. And then I got this. This is official interior green, U.S. interior green. There was a whole story behind that I told people who were, watching this stream. I told that story a couple of streams ago. So I'm not going to tell it again. Maybe I'll tell it again. I don't know. But this was made the standard color for the interior components of aircraft for the U.S. Army Air Corps. I'm not sure it was used for the Navy. It was used for the U.S. Army Air Corps in 1944. So when the painting instructions called for interior green, which is here, okay, there is an actual official, very carefully matched color for it there. Okay. So this other thing is called metal black, which I'm sure I haven't been able to find if that was an official color or not. But I have two colors, a new one and an old one, that I think will work for that. This one I just bought. It's obsidian metallic. Okay. And the other one is steel, which I've had for a while, as in the metal steel, not as in the action of stealing. And what I want to do is pull that little pin off, the squeeze tip there. I want to pull that off without hurting it or spilling too much paint so that I can put that mixing ball in there. And this successfully many times. I doubt if there's any kind of success happening today. Probably get paint all over my hands. There. So those can be mixed, stirred up. I have a place for those players. This is just a mess waiting to happen. Get rid of it. Oh, yeah. I got paint on my fingers, of course. I've been told that I'm a pretty good painter, like wall painting, But when I was a kid, I was told a good painter never gets paint on their hands. Paint goes on the brush, and the paint goes on the surface to be painted. And your hands are neither of those. Okay? You don't use your hands to apply the paint, and um, and it's not the surface to be painted. So, despite the fact that I have been told several times that I'm very good at painting walls or window frames and things like that, I always manage to get paint all over my hands. I mean, like all over my hands. This is the most frequent spot here. Is for some reason the way I hold the brush or the way I move it or something, I bump into a painted surface with this. And I've done that on this too, on this stream, and then paint just jumps onto my fingers, like the backs of my fingers and things. I don't know how it does it, but it does. Okay, so I've got this thing here. I'll show it to you. Okay, and what this thing does is it vibrates. It kind of turns like that, and it stirs things up. You can hear if you can hear it, you can hear the little clicking of the little ball I put in there. And that's the point of it, is to like with a can of spray paint. Okay, when you hear the rattling, there's a little metal ball in there that's breaking up the pigment that has almost inevitably settled, like it has in this, where there's two different colors and it's supposed to be just one. And this is supposed to shake it like the when you buy house paint and you get a gallon of paint and they put it in a shaker. It's supposed to be doing that. So what I'll be doing is just putting some paint on this paper here, and that will be to see which one I want to use, whether I want to use this metallic obsidian or whether I want to use a steel, or whether they turn out to be so similar that this was just a waste of money. I don't know. Get a brush. True metallic metal, better than being a false metallic metal. pretty black. Pretty, not pretty as in looks nice. Pretty as in quite. It's very black. Hmm. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of a bluish tinge to it. This is the steel. This has been used. We use this paint actually quite a lot. It's probably enough. And there's quite a difference there, isn't there, in terms of hue? Steel is pretty nice color, but I think if they wanted metal black, that one's probably the one I'm going to end up using because it's darker, really dark. Okay. Well, as I said, I have several light grays, and I'm going to test three of them. And see which ones I end up going with. I can find the one. This one always it just gets put away in a weird spot, and then just disappears. The whites, the black, greens and blues and purples, yellows and metallics. I have found it in the past because I know it exists because I have in fact used it. So I'm just going to stand here and spin this thing around. But I haven't shown this to anybody in a long time. This is an invention that Alexis put together for us. It's really cool. It's PLA printed using it uses leftover PLA spools. And then she made this these custom inserts to hold the paints. You know, I'm looking for this and can't find it. I know that what's going to happen is it'll just be right in front of my nose, right in front of my nose, and I didn't see it when I was looking right at it. It's just really frustrating, to know it's there and not be able to find it. I wondered it. I don't know what I did with it. Somehow messed up. This is neutral gray. That's an old one. Sometimes these paints don't last. I should have spent some time looking for this some other time when I had more time, like when I wasn't streaming. But why not? You get to see me not not find the color I'm looking for when I know it's here because I've used it terribly long ago. Not too terribly long ago. Talking like AI, using way too many modifiers and adjectives. I wonder. I think I cleaned up so it's not. I didn't put it somewhere else. Well, I might just be testing too. How could I miss? Just totally disappeared a color. Huh. Yep, I disappeared a color by magic. Oh, how did I do that? Well, this one I recently bought, and it's supposed to be light gray. And as you can see, the pigment and the solvent are totally separated. So I'm going to just spend 20 minutes, I think, stirring this. It's going to take a long time. How do I know that? Because they're really separated. So while this is buzzing away, and those little metal balls that I put in there, it's just starting to break up the pigment. This paint has probably been sitting around for who knows how long. Who knows how long? A long time. This has been sitting around a long time. There are some other colors, some of the Viejo greens, especially some of the blue green colors, where they do the same thing with the pigment and the solvent separate from each other in a hugely significant way. And so I'm holding it upside down on here. Yeah, some of the pigment is breaking loose. I'm going to shake it this way. Just give this, sometimes that's necessary. Shake well before using. Yeah, definitely that's the black. That's the metal black. I'm glad I invested in this color because the seal would have been okay, but not not the same. So this back and forth shaking, as opposed to the vibrating shaking, it breaks up the pigment on the bottom at least. The little metal balls go slamming into the pigment and break it up and push it around, and it's still, you can still see through the bottle that it's not thoroughly mixed, but I don't need this for a while, so I don't need to shake that up right now. I really think that the Vallejo light gray would be the best color, but I don't know where it went. That is just so annoying. No, this looks really light. Maybe it maybe it gets darker when it dries. I don't know. I'm a little concerned about this. No, well, maybe not. It looks okay when it comes. It's a lot thicker than I thought it would be. This is supposed to be an airbrush paint. Might take 2 coats. I'm not sure. Okay, well that's okay. That's an okay color. I'm okay with that. But it might it's a thick paint in that it's viscous, jelly like, but it's kind of translucent. But if it takes 2 coats, it takes 2 coats. Okay, well that's that. These are the 2 colors I'll be using for 2 of the 3 colors, and then I'll be using chrome and duraluminum. It's kind of light, slightly darker aluminum color, but I think for the engine that would be appropriate because it's not going to be the bright aluminum color like the body panels. No, there. I haven't painted anything, and one of my tubs of wash water is already used, used it up. Um, yeah, so there. Now I've got a paint I don't need. I've got a Band-Aid. I've got paint on a paper. I've got a messy paper towel. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to take just a moment and you can look at these parts. I'm going to get some clean. I'm going to dump this and get it clean. I seem to be doing more of that lately. It's just getting up and kind of getting up and wandering around. That's like a real classic old person thing to do, isn't it? Is you're sitting there doing something and talking with somebody, and you go, "Oh, excuse, I'm just going to get up and wander off for a little while. I'll be back. I think. I think I'll be back if probably I'll be back. Probably, back here. Where was I? Okay, I've got lots of parts. Lots of parts to an engine that will then be covered up and never seen again. Yay. That's great model making. Um, so here, both of these engine blocks are interchangeable. So I'm just going to take this one, put a paper towel down, take these boxes like this. And you might recall that what I did so that I knew what these pieces were. 'Cause especially these, the numbers matter. As I put some tape down, I put tape here over a number. So I knew what they were, like that's H8, that's H5, this is H11. That's H something else that uh, tore off. 14, I think. It's H14. Pretty sure that's one of the pipes. 8 and 11, 14 and 5. Yeah, good that didn't tear. That's 15. These these look alike, but they're not. They go on opposite sides. So I labeled all of these too, but it's pretty obvious what they are. So I'm not too concerned about that. Okay. So there's one engine block. And then there's this bit here. One of these goes on the top of it. This way. It makes a difference which way it's turned. Um, and then one of these is on here. This goes on like that. Light gray. Trying to decide in what order to paint, whether I should do some assembly and then paint, or paint and then assemble. In this case, I need to paint this before I put that on because um, this square part here needs to be painted metal black, including up here. And then this goes on top of that. Okay. But this goes on this, like this. Not, it's supposed to. Like that. And it doesn't. Okay, that's interesting. It's not the part that I thought would be a problem. Yeah. So I'm wondering, in this particular case, that seams is at the back is going to be kind of invisible, I think. But and this is painted light gray as well. I think these should be assembled before it goes on here. And I'm thinking, why is there? I'm looking at the gap here. The parts just don't fit very well. It should be the same, so if I take the other one, it shouldn't make any difference. You can see that the mm, yeah, I'm thinking these will be assembled before they're painted and before they're put on. And then I need to decide there's no I'm trying to decide if this was supposed to be like one solid piece where the seams need to be like gotten rid of. And I'm thinking they are because there's no otherwise this would be like something that was bolted on. This is bolted on, but I think this case is supposed to be one solid piece. So I should I should once it's cemented together is get rid of the seam. I think that needs to be done. This is clearly attached. Okay, that's a part that's attached. And the front part, this is clearly just attached later too. Yeah, okay. This, I'm thinking, I'm looking at this. And this is just gonna end up taking more time, right? It's just gonna be more time. I can get this back on here. There's a little there. This that this is supposed to be a solid piece. Okay. That those seams here and here and here and here aren't supposed to show. The top isn't so bad. It's not such a big deal on the top because um, this goes on. It goes over the top like that, and it conceals this seam. But here and here along the front, which would not be too difficult to. It wouldn't be all that difficult to close up. Okay, so I'm making some decisions here. This part, this part is obviously it's got like all these bolts around it, right? So it obviously is attached later. So this can be painted. I can paint this. There's two of them. I'm going to assemble this and then get rid of the seams. I'm going to assemble this and then get rid of the seams. Okay. I can get some painting done. Like I can get this painted, right? Um, these little bits here that are mostly light gray with some aluminum highlights. I can do that. I'm guessing that this pipe is supposed to be painted light gray, even though it doesn't say so, because the other ones back here are. So I'm going to paint this light gray. I'm going to assemble this, let the cement set, and on Friday, I'm going to do this now, both of these parts. And then near the end of the stream, I want to put a little bit of filler in around the edges. Okay. So that on Friday I can sand it and paint it probably. And then there's these parts like this and the propeller shaft and these bits here that I can't, even if they're not going to be attached right now, they can be painted. Yeah, so that's what's going to happen. Is I'm going to do some cementing here. Boy, that doesn't it really it just flops around in there and it big seams and I don't you just look at this and you say I don't think that that's how it's supposed to look. I don't think there's supposed to be that seam there. I think it's supposed to be all one piece. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to use a little bit of primer on there. That might interfere with the cementing. I'm just going to scrape it clean. This is all good practice if I'm able to make a display one. Okay. I'm able to make one of these engines into a display engine. This is good practice for making it look really good, making it look good. Primer on there. No, those were on the those are unprimed, so that's not an issue. Okay. Oh, I need some of that paper that I threw away. Making a mess of everywhere I go. I wonder if it's possible to put this on wrong. Hmm. Yeah, it's actually not. That's pretty good. Yeah. Such big openings. Just so the part just doesn't fit. unfortunately. Get it in like that. You can see the bottom seam is going to close up. What I can do now, see when it dissolves the plastic like that, okay, it fills the seam, and then I can just sand it, and it disappears. But with these big gaps, I was almost tempted to just put some model cement in there, but I think it'd just be a lot wiser to, yeah, I'm going to use the green stuff, buddy. I'm talking to myself here about what I've got some white filler and this green stuff stays green, but this is going to be painted that metal black. Okay, you can see here that the metal black color goes down to this seam right there, to that edge. Nice clean edge. I'm going to put some tape on there when I paint it. Um, and then it comes up across here. Okay, and then the that bit and the front bit kind of cover it. So I can use the green stuff putty on that. And then it will, it'll be black. It'll cover it pretty well. The, Sometimes if it's being painted like white or even a light gray, the dark green color will show through. So this just needs to set for a bit. I want to put the filler in today yet. Later. See, this is going to fill in pretty well. There's a gap right there. Almost intentional. The edge doesn't match up there. Mm, very weird. And then this ends up going on there like that. I don't know why there's a big slot across the top. Why is that? I don't know. Mm. I'm not sure how all these pieces come together. The picture isn't clear. I mean, that it's pretty clear. This has to go on like that. And it's pretty clear that there's a gap across the top. So there is. This I'm going to fill with the white putty as it's being painted that light gray color. And I really don't know how well that's going to cover the green. I found that even if I prime it again, if I put more primer on it, These clothespins are actually quite handy for this kind of thing. There. So those will set for a bit. I haven't done any pre-planning for this. I'm just sort of lurching along here. Okay. This I can paint. That I can paint. These I can paint. These I can paint. I can paint a lot of this stuff. Um, just sort of ahead of time. The As with a lot of these parts, though, they're well, just like this one. You'd say, okay, well, I can just lay it flat, right? But no, these little bits here, when this goes on, okay, there's a big gap there. And I don't know if that gets covered over. No, it doesn't. There's pipes that come. There's pipes that go around it, behind it. And obviously it goes on like that. Obviously there's a gap. I'm just going to mess with this a little bit. Oh, okay. I see what happens. The dry shaft, the dry shaft actually shows on the back there. Hmm. See that? Hmm. It's interesting. I didn't expect that, but it does. And it fits. I mean, it fits really well in the space. Interesting. But when you do this, you can still see the gaps there and there, and that is that's really just ugly, ugly as all get out. Oh, what's up with this? Are those molding? I don't know if that's supposed to be like a big bolt with a bolt hole in it, or whether it was no. It's like a flaw in them because there isn't one on this side. That needs to be sanded. It's just yeah. I mean, there's a molding flaw right here. It needs to be sanded out because that will show. Okay. To get things like this, like how do you paint these? Right, seriously, how do you paint them? Because oh, that was a mistake I made. I didn't know that this would show. Okay. Well, no, really, I thought this was buried inside the piece, and so I didn't. When I cleaned off the molding seam, I didn't clean it off on this part. And there's a really big. This is where the screw was attached. I never even cleaned that off. Oh my. That's why it's good, I guess, to do a whole lot of test fitting. Um, do a whole lot of test fitting before assembly because that would be that would not be good. This part right here doesn't show, but this part shows. That was a sigh of um, both frustration in that really I can't believe I missed it. I made a shortcut because I thought I could, and that was a mistake. And it was a sigh of relief in that I caught the mistake before it was too late. Now that I've caught this mistake before it was too late, I need to clean up the other one, or else I will forget about that. I'll leave that one here. Okay. So I was talking about, and how do I know how am I going to hold this while I paint it? And the answer to that is that I'm going to try this again. See, this goes in here like this. And so I can see that this part here, right here, um, isn't going to show anywhere. Just absolutely positively is not going to show anywhere. And so what I can do, I can do this. This is the thing I can do is I can clean the part thoroughly. I was knocking paper towels over all day. One day. Hi, thanks for joining in. You're watching me get nothing done and taking a long time to do it. I did cement some parts together that are going to have some filler applied. I discovered by test fitting stuff that I've got issues that need to be fixed on these parts. And what I'm going to be able to do is I can put a clip right here. Because that part, I know that this part from here back shows. It shows on the inside of this. But this part that goes right there, okay, really long piece that is inside of this part doesn't show. So I'm going to be able to hold that and paint it that way. Yay. This needs to be painted light gray, and you would think it's easy, you just lay it down, but then these little bits here need to be painted on the back because they, for some bizarre reason, you can kind of see them supposed to be cemented on? I'm not sure. No, what I want is something that will go in that hole and hold it. I bet this might. Okay, that's not what it was for. This is one of those little plastic tubes that protects the protects the brush, but it fits just exactly. So I can paint all of this and then the little bits in the back, and then use one of these to hold it while it dries. So this is going to be painted chrome. This is light gray. Let me look at some of the other pieces that I can paint. These two guys are going to be painted metal black. The thing on the inside here. Yeah, that grabs pretty good. I can paint these. I'm kind of running out of places to hold them. This I can't paint yet. It gets to be filled. It has to be filled. This bit here. This bit here is a little tricky. It needs the it's mostly metal black, and then this bit here is like rod across. That's painted light gray. And what I know, I'm going to paint that first. I'm going to paint that light gray because I know if I paint it metal black first, I might have to come back and forth and do touching up. I'm going to do that. I'm going to paint that the light gray. I'm going to probably not at this point. Let's paint the lighter color first. And then I'm going to try to get the metal black underneath it, underneath it without touching it. Let's see. Okay. So I got some metal black, I got some chrome, I got some light gray. These pipes, all of these little pipes need to be painted light gray. And then these bits are painted light gray with a little bit of aluminum highlighting. Kind of one step at a time here. I'm going to get these going. These I'm going to fill in a little bit later. Not a guy named Phil. Filler. Um, yeah, all these parts are parts for the second engine. And at some point, I'm going to consolidate them because they can go in. I'll deal with that later. what is that? That little bit, this little bit up here, this little bit goes on the top of that. That's got to be painted light gray. It doesn't say otherwise. Everything else on it is light gray. Yeah, so it's kind of like a little bracket. The painting instructions are generally pretty good, but sometimes they miss a part. Like they don't talk about the pipes here. These pipes, yeah, they don't talk about that little bracket up there. Well, yeah. I'm gonna set these metal black, light gray, chrome. I'm gonna do the chrome one first. Set here. I'll do these. Bumping into stuff. Yep, I am. I can use. I just want a soft. I don't need a very detaily kind of brush. That's not really big. I could use this. This is nice. I use this for testing. That should be okay. But these, I'm going to use this big soft brush. I want to make sure that I want to be careful not to get brush marks on these. I haven't used the metal black before. I don't know how well it levels. I might end up putting too thin coats on. The chrome almost certainly will have to be two coated. It almost always is. Most of these that are getting painted, there's just a lot of texture on it, or they're really, really tiny, so I don't have to worry about brush marks. Okay. But these are right on the top. And I don't want brush marks on them. Oh yeah. Yeah. These paints will sometimes spatter when they're opened and closed. No, that was messy. Oh, good. I have to be careful not to paint anything of significance today. Just I got paint everywhere. Really, I did. Just Just a real mess. Truly, truly impressive messiness. Oh, I got paint on stuff. Sorry. Mm, Getting distracted by nothing. Kind of just, yeah, I'm going to do this. This metal black is, it's another Viejo paint. I've used these before. I haven't used this color before, but this is much darker than the steel, so I think it is much more like the metal black is supposed to be. Oh, I just had a thought that would be that would something I might do. But I'll talk about that after I get this one thing at a time. I'm glad I bought this. It is a nice. It is a very nice dark color. It still gives the impression of being metallic. Why is the yeah, the bristles all fell apart? Brush came undone. I'll do the edges first. They were the most challenging for a reason I'm not sure. No, it's not working. See, that's one of those things that I do. I bumped my finger against the part that was painted. I'm using this smaller brush to get the edges because the bristles on that, although it was really nice across the top, okay, just they don't, they weren't working on the bolted surfaces here. Aren't getting in there. I definitely do not want to be doing a lot of detail painting today. No, look at me, just not not doing well here. Okay, try this here. Yeah, it's a little streaky. You can see brush marks on it, but that might be okay in the context of the plane. I don't know. Let's see how it looks when it dries. It looks pretty good as it's drying here, though. I have to say that I'm glad I didn't bought this paint. It just looks more like I think the intent was, metal black, um, as opposed to the steel, which would have been okay, but would not have given the same really dark color. Okay, I'm going to do light gray now. So this is what I was thinking, though, is that the bottom of this is painted light gray, and then the top of it, above this line, above this line, is painted the dark metal. Um, I'm going to, and the seams that need to be filled in are above this line. So I'm going to paint the bottom of this because this is okay. I'm not worried about that. I'm going to be able to paint the bottom of this light gray, like right on up to that line. This dark metal will cover it. And then I'll be able to put a little piece of tape across here, okay, to make that line clean. So when I get the light gray paint out, I'm going to use this big falling apart brush again, paint it up to that line on both sides. And I'm just going to hold it like that and get probably, maybe it'll work. I don't know. Um, so I go, hi, who? Yeah, I'll do a flip in a little bit. I want to finish this little bits of painting that I'm doing, some bits of painting first. It's like I'm doing something, you know. I'm going to paint this first. That's way more paint than I needed. Yeah, for some reason, this little bit in the middle, this little handle-like thing is painted light gray. And everything else is painted that metal black, that color. Yeah, point with my point paintbrush. That was a good move. Yeah, the one I just put gray paint on the black. Yeah, that would have been just the kind of thing I would do. No, this is almost invisible against the painted primer. Can't tell if it's painted or not, really. No, but yeah, it's really hard to tell because the color is so close. The primered part. I'm just gonna just keep brushing at it, hoping I got it covered. If I brush at it with paint like 3 or 4 or 5 times, the odds are that I've got paint on it. I think this is pretty good light gray. Pretty. I'm glad I bought this. I'm pretty sure this is really close to the color that they wanted it to be. Seems to cover pretty well. Well, it's light gray now. Now I'm going to do the engine block. I said I was going to use the bigger brush on this, didn't I? I did say that. So I'm not horribly concerned. Horribly. I'm not extremely concerned about this line. This line will be defined by the black paint, not by this gray paint. Just need to make sure that the gray goes high enough there. I'm not sure. I think the bottom is covered, but I'm not positive. Good. Now I need to turn it over. I think that has, yeah, I think that'll be good. And now, now I need to set this down without getting paint on everything. There, I guess that's okay. Um, well, that's nest under here. Whether that is covered up or not. That, ah, really, yeah, that's so me. Fix the problem by making it, make a problem by fixing a problem. Okay. Um, so this metal black is actually pretty nice. I really kind of like how that looks. Yeah. The chrome came out good. The light gray. I think I'm glad I bought that too. I made an investment in colors, and they seem to be. It was good. Now, little bit, little bits. I'm not sure. I don't want to paint that yet. I've got these pipes, okay, and each of these pipes, I'll just take one, has these little prongs here, okay. So this is another one of those in theory. I can grip it, the alligator clip like that, and paint it. And there are four of these. So if these dried, if these dried um, sufficiently, or at least that one has to be painted another color too. Um, I could get the pipes by doing this. These these are painted metal black except for little bits here and here. There is a tab here, but I don't know if that tab shows it or not when it's assembled. Looks like the tabs go into the top of this. But before I paint them, I want to test fit them. So we need to just watch paint dry here for a while. What I really need is another of these blocks with a bunch of holes in it, like a block like this with like six or seven holes for alligator clips, and then I could do those because I'd have a place to put them. But I can't now because there isn't any place to put them because those parts are there. So they're stymied by the lack of a piece of wood with holes. What can I do? Okay, this is what I can do. I can move this around, make paint out of the way. This is the box of parts for the second engine, which is not going to be built for a billion years. It's not going to get built for a really long time. So what I want to do, consolidate these parts. You consolidate them on the other one because I'll just label them. This is something I can actually get done. So I'm going to get it done. Is I can consolidate these parts. Okay, I don't need the numbers on these. I can tell what they are by looking at them. Okay, so I'm going to move this here, move this out of the way. Oh yeah, this, I can move this here too. These are all the parts of the second engine. I'm going to put them in this box, and then this box is just going to get this piece of cardboard at least, and probably the box is just going to be put away. It's going to be put somewhere safe. So that I don't lose any of these parts. Probably I'll just leave them in this box. Just leave it in this box. Um, these parts need to be labeled. I'm I'm doing this because it's a good idea to do it, but also I'm waiting for paint to dry because otherwise I'm sort of stymied. I am stuck. I can't I can't move parts and talk at the same time, obviously. Obviously, if I could, I would, right? But I'm not, so I guess I can't. Mutter, 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 grumble, grumble, grumble. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I haven't done a flip yet, have I? Okay. Well, let me just get this part attached to the cardboard, and then I'll do a flip. This is probably unnecessary. I'm going to tape over that little part because that's going to disappear otherwise. Okay, all these parts are going to stay in here. I'm half of these. I'm just going to half of these go on the engine I'm building, and the other half I don't know how. I don't know how they're going to go on. I am truly completely baffled by these. They're supposed to go on each half. So this is now going to just these are these parts. These all need to just be set aside for months, and it will be months because I'm going on a trip. I'm going away starting next week, and I'll be gone for like 3 weeks. So this stream is going to happen today and Friday, and then everything is just I'm just going to pack things up carefully, cover them up, try not to lose parts or break parts or anything like that um, until I get back in some time in the future. I guess that's what can I say? Sometime in the future. Oh no, I'm not thinking clearly here. Um, so I need to paint these parts and keep them labeled at the same time. I'm gonna have to put labels, pieces of label tape on this while they're being held, so I don't lose them. Okay, these parts. Ah, what did I trip over? I'm gonna putting these actually in the box. Putting these in the box with all the parts that are on the screws because yeah, they're the best place. They're not painted, painted fine, but how is this all coming along here? Bumping stuff over. These I'm gonna put in here. And I've got an empty box. Yay. I'd like to get impatient at this point. And I guess those came out okay. There's a little brush mark on them, but that might be that might be sort of authentic. I don't know. Okay, so this, I guess I almost thought ahead, but I didn't. If I clip this here, I'm almost certainly going to scratch the light gray paint, but I don't see any way around it. There is a way around it. I'm sure there is. I'll just touch it up later. Um, yeah, I just got, oh, I need to do a flip. Forgot about the flipping. I've had 2 5-to-1s in a row. I wonder what'll happen this time. Here, I want to flip paint and not paint. Paint off screen. Not paint. Not paint. Great. Not paint. 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 Okay. It's 3-to-3. Probability is working again. Yay. I broke probability Friday and Monday. Getting 2 5-to-1s. 2 5-to-1s in a row after never having a 5-to-1 ever in years of flipping. Okay, I'm going to paint this part. Use a little brush on this. I wonder if this, I don't know if this would work or not. I want to get the, jeez, yeah, just really mashing it. I want to get the paint up right along that edge there and underneath here, right along this edge here. We should use a finer pointed brush. I don't know if I need to use the itty bitty brush. This one's a little better for that. And if I mess it up, I'll just have to paint the light gray on top of it. I'm gonna have to get the light gray out to touch it up anyway because I'm mangling it with the alligator clip. It's time. Somebody is here. I probably should put my head magnifier on for this, but I'm not. It's painting up to an edge. I mess up? Yeah, oh, no, I can't tell. It looks like I did, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm making a mess of this. Hopefully the light gray will cover this dark metal because I messed it up. I really should have put my head magnifiers on and I didn't. And so there it is. Should look at the instructions, see where this goes. Hmm. Can't tell if the back of this ends up showing or not. I think it kind of doesn't. I think something goes up against it. I'm not sure. There's molding circles on here. Did I test fit this? No, this part is screwed. Sorry. Um, there's molding circles here and here that I didn't get rid of. I'm going to have to pretty much what I'm going to have to do is this. Well, I'll test fit it to see if I really got a problem or not. I'm thinking I do. I'm thinking those circles are going to show. So it's one thing to have to touch up the light gray, and I will use my head magnifiers because it's it's not working without them. And I'll be able to hold this piece. But if those circles are going to show, I have to decide whether to sand them away or not. I mean, I am messing up the light gray. I'm just doing that because of lack of eyesight and light, and just it's just not going well. But if those circles show and they look ugly, then I'm going to have to sand this part and then remember to do the other one as well. I shouldn't have bothered painting the light gray first. I mean, looking at it in retrospect, given how much I messed it up, it would have been probably better to just, since I have to repaint it, to have just painted it once. But I didn't. So now I've just got to need to do a good deal of fixing. Hopefully that won't be too hard, I hope. But like I said, I've got these circles here, which may or may not. We'll see how it looks when it's test fit. Sorry. Okay. Um, I don't want to get real impatient about these things, but I could get those pipes painted. It would be a good thing. Hmm. Looking at this and it's weirdly streaky. I'm gonna have to put a second coat on. I don't know to see how the engine block turned out. I think that paint needs a bunch more stirring. Yeah, and this needs a second coat. Well, what I can do is paint H15 and H16. Those are painted light gray, and then it has some aluminum accents, and I'm hoping the aluminum accent works okay later. So here's what I'm going to do. Fortunately, the mistakes I've made so far today haven't been fatal. Okay, I mean, in that the parts are going to be okay. But I need to label these since I'm getting the light gray out to paint these two parts. And I'm going to put a second coat on that and try to get rid of the streakiness. H. So what I'm thinking is this light gray paint, even though it mixed a lot, is just still not thoroughly mixed because it came out streaky. It's a nice color, but I don't know how the engine block came out. I'm gonna have to look. Whoa, okay, it's just a screw. I need to get the chrome as well. So I got a bunch of light gray paint there, but I don't know. How did this come out? Oh, yeah, see, that came out all streaky as well. I got an hour left, so yeah, we'll just keep at this for a bit. Okay, well, um, I'm gonna do the chrome part first. Why? Um, I'm thinking ahead a little bit, kind of. It is if I'm gonna have the light gray paint out, this I might be able to finish this part. I might be able to do the touch up on the light gray part component of that. Because I think the the black metal will be dry by then, by the time I get around to it. Well, as is usual from my modeling skill, it's been not quite one, two steps forward, one step back, but it has been. There have been a couple of oopses, and there have been a couple of catching a problem before it happened. Yeah, I mean, it's just been that kind of thing because that's how these things are when I'm building a model. Is because I don't know what I'm doing. I will just be right, very, very right up front with that. I really do not know what I'm doing, and I'm just doing, stuff and hoping it works out. Mostly working out, mostly. This brush. Oh yeah, I need the big brush thing again that I was using for the little block that's all streaky because the paint still, after all of this, is still not thoroughly mixed. Nothing can substitute for handshaking. It is a good color though. It's just this is sitting. It just separated the pigment and the solvent. And I ended up with stripes. Here we go. We'll try again. I don't need that much paint. Start with that. Okay, I'm going to paint the front of this thing first. Oh, there's still way too much paint. Yeah, spent $500 million, on these little on these model paints, and then 75% of it, like all of that, just ends up getting wasted. It doesn't end up going on the model. It ends up getting sprayed around, or yeah, well, that's just the way it is. It is what it is. What it is. And let's hope that this comes out better. If not, well, then there'll be yet even more paint. so much not used paint. No, let that dry. See what happens. Um, Turn this around, and now I want H15. I'm going to clip it on there and do the painting on it. This clip is not good. And if it needs to be, if that little tab needs to be touched up, then I'll just do that. Okay, this is and then these little bits here and here need to be painted to aluminum, and I'll do that with head magnifiers. I've learned my lesson already several times already today. How how I can't do detail painting without those. And I think that's good. So on Friday, I'll be able to paint these 4 little pipes, these 4 little pipes, okay? Because this'll all be dry, and I'll be able to, well, that's a lot less streaky, it's much better, okay? So I'll be able to take these off and use the clips and get that done, and if I'm gonna be actually doing any assembly, I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, or whether I'm just gonna go on to getting more parts, I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna put my head magnifiers on so I can get that this bit where it's clipped. I'm gonna try to get that to look okay. Now we got all sorts of barking going on. Okay, yeah, well, that is officially a huge mess. Should have been very simple to do if I had put these on to begin with. Done it the right way, and now it's not really covering very well. Okay, well, what can I say? Don't take shortcuts. Just don't. They don't work. It just doesn't work out. I'm gonna have to go back and forth a couple of times. Oh, I totally missed it on this side. Like I did this blind. I'm gonna have to come back and recoat some of this maybe. Hmm. Yeah, a little bit of touch up. Mhm. Yeah, this is going to be an iterative thing. I'm gonna have to come back. Black also. Why is there a little bump? Mm. If I keep piling the paint up, it's just going to get messy. Of course, I might have to redo this whole part anyway. as I said, because of those molding circles. Well, I'm just going to let this set and can't really do anything until I do some test fitting a little later to see if those circles show or not, and whether I need to do some major surgery. I might have to do some significant surgery on that part to make it work. Okay. Um, wow. I am cluttering things though. I'm making a clutter mess. Okay. So this has been clipped long enough. I'm going to do some seam filling. And on Friday, I'll be doing a bunch of sanding on this to see if I can't get the seams to go away. I'm going to use the white putty on this as it as I just discovered. The gray doesn't cover terribly well. It doesn't cover very well. And the sanding here will be a little tricky. I don't want to lose that detail. I might end up sort of scraping it off. Oh, really? That's the kind of thing that happens. See, as I was rotating it and trying to hold it, I got it all over my hand. Amy, this one, I'm going to use the green stuff on. It's still streaky. Look at that. Still streaky. So this will get yet another coat of still even more mixed paint. Maybe when it's thoroughly dry. I don't know. We'll see. So this time I have to use a toothpick with this because it just oozes out way too fast. But no, it's not. No, it's not coming out at all. Of course. It's the same. This is the one I use to clear the point of the. There. Really, I do not understand. No, no, it's gonna. that wire fits into the tip of the, plastic cement. Why is this not working? They just they just cleared it. This has never happened before. Usually it just pours out. Huh, really, really odd. Because this one all the way down in, okay, all the way through and came out with the putty. I mean, it's open. There's no blockage along the way here. It's covered in the putty. Now it's starting to come out. It's not dried in the tube. Okay, well, that was that was just really odd. I don't, I might have to take like a, I might have to take this nozzle off and clean it from the inside. It's gone from shooting out practically to not coming out at all. putting like a billion times more on here than I need. I can sand it down. Oh, now it's gushing out. Terrific. Yeah, look. Yeah, that's how it has been in the past. Okay, well, this is going to require a fair amount of cleaning up. Well, whatever was blocking it before is definitely not blocking it now. Thank you, bad timing material. I'm just going to cap it and deal with that some other time, right? Right. Yeah, the streakiness of the paint, though, I'm annoyed by that. Fortunately, I can just put another coat on there. It's not going to hurt it, but still. Okay, well, today was kind of some things are okay and some things not. Um, what happened? Oh, duh. Sorry. I lost track of what I was doing. I got filler in here. That's why I thought I had painted this and it turned white. But no, it's just it's just the filler. Stuff kind of shrinks. Yeah, this is the okay. Yeah, it's time for me to start wrapping up because I am losing track of what I'm even doing. Um, so I still have a lot of time left, don't I? Okay, this part is painted and it looks okay. So I'm going to take this off. This is kind of a done box, but what I want to do is a piece of paper towel down so that paint doesn't get scratched up. There, those are the like headers. This is done. The chrome part looks okay. I'm just going to leave that. This is not the one that's done. This is the one that's all full of filler. This is the one that's done. Jeez. Okay, these are mostly okay. I need I have to put another coat on those again. It's just continuing to be streaky. I'll do that now. I wonder. wonder if this paint is still good. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and recoat these, at least these parts of it. On Friday, I'll paint the aluminum detailing on that. I need to do that with a head magnifier. Okay. I'm not going to do that today. It's just as well I'm recoating these because if I were to try to do the detail, I would make a mess of it almost certainly. You need to keep them there with the correct numbers because they are not interchangeable. I put yet another coat on, and I still got paint. Why not? Just why not, right? Okay. So on Friday, you can see where the green is. That's going to be sanded. Okay. Where the white is, that's going to be sanded. This whole thing gets painted this light gray color. This part, I need to fit this part to see if these molding circles here, and here show. And if they do, I need to sand them away, in which case this whole thing will need to be repainted. It'll just have to be redone. Um, these just need accents of aluminum. These pipes need to be painted light gray. I actually probably can do that now. Um, really, I probably can. Uh, the reason why is that this I can't do anything with this until I test fit it on Friday, and these parts are probably dry enough now that I can set them down in the correct place. And now I've got places and ton. I've just got a mess here. Um, these can just sit here and here, but now I've got a place for them, and I need to label them. I've definitely need to label them. It says dual purpose spots. Okay. I've got H11, H8, H14, and H5. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what I've got. Um, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grasp them by one of these little pins and then paint this and a piece of tissue fell in. That was so bizarre. Sure, it's covered everywhere. This was an H5. This is an H14. And then I'll turn it around because I don't want to be reaching over. Well, I'm accomplishing actually quite a lot today. Um, kind of. There've been a couple of one-step backs that have happened. Um, I've got some parts that don't quite fit. This is H11, and that's sometimes just how it is. I haven't I made a mess of a part that continues to be kind of a mess. Um, but it might need some serious rehabilitation before it can be put on anyway, in which case the mess I made would get unmade anyway. And what I mean is that if I have to sand those circles off, I don't know why I didn't before. Initially, I thought, well, I looked at the part in the instructions and it looked like It looked like it wouldn't show, but now I'm not so sure. And I might have to like test fit many parts to be sure. I'm not sure. I have to look at that again on Friday and see if that needs sanding. Just on the bottom of the curve of the pipe, it looks like the molding seam shows a lot. I can't really tell at this stage of the stream. I'm, I'm feeling kind of lucky that I can even see the part I'm painting. Having been painting this one, I'm wondering if I remember to turn that one over, paint the bottom. I'll take it off and double check it. This one looks pretty okay. But what I was talking about on this one is that from a certain angle, yeah, here it looks like there's a bad seam showing there. Like the pipe is just, yeah. I think that needs a lot of sanding right here. If I remember to do that Friday, I'll do that right away and then just touch it up. I think I'll be able to do a touch up on that. It's just from this one side, just like this. Or if I look at it from the top, where they seem to be misaligned. Okay, well, I got those painted and labeled. Labeling was a good thing to remember to do that so that I know where they go. Um, so I'll do a recap. What I have done is I got all the parts for one of the two engines here for step one. Okay. I put the equivalent parts in a box over there, labeled and ready to go some other time in the future. Excuse me. Um, I got I got some parts over there that are done. They're painted. Okay, this part needs to be rehabbed. I shouldn't say they're done. These aren't quite done either. They're close to being done. They're close to being done, but not done. So on Friday, what I'll be doing is I'll be fixing this pipe if I remember to do that by sanding it down. I'll be sanding the filler on these parts. Okay. And then if it comes out okay, I'll I'll finish painting them. I'm going to do that part early in the stream. I'll say that I should do that early in the stream so that I can paint these, and then so I can sand them, so I can sand down the seams. And if it comes out okay, then I can paint this. Okay, the black metal part. Okay, inside and out. Do those disappear? Somehow this doesn't seem right. I'm not seeing what the problem is here. Top. Okay, well, here's a question. It goes like that. Okay. Damn it. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I just lost my general audience rating. No, seriously. Um, I'm not happy about this. I need to remember this on the other one. Is there's molding circles down there. Okay. And those are actually going to show. Are they inset? Yeah, they're really deep. Okay, I'm going to fill those. I'm going to fill those with this green putty, and I can get sandpaper in there. This green putty is coming out again en masse. Um, and they won't be perfect. I mean, you might still be able to see the outline of um, of the circles, but there won't be an indentation. Okay, so I'm finding that I need to I need to do this on the part that's in the box now. This is, I mean, the stuff sands okay, but it's just like, really? This is just another one of those, really? Of, that comes from test fitting and maybe not doing it soon enough. And then just getting kind of a mess of, yeah, just making a mess of it. Okay, well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get that part out from the other engine and just do the same thing to it. Just they're really too deep. They're way too deep to. Yeah, I just got like 10 times more putty in here than I need. they're too deep to sand down to the bottom. I mean, to sand the whole thing. So I think I can, if not make them totally disappear, at least I can make them be less obvious. When they're kind of buried inside other parts, okay, other parts go over these. But if you look down in, and this will be especially important if I turned one into a display engine. Well, we'll see how that turns out on Friday. So on Friday, I'll be starting out by um, sanding parts, sanding off filler. Okay, so I'll be starting with the sanding filler, and then I'll be this in the box, even though it might get taped. If those pop off, I don't want them to get lost. And then I'll be checking this to see if it needs to be yeah. I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking those circles need to go. they're not they're not going to disappear during assembly. So I need to sand this part here, make those circles there disappear. And then I'll need to just like repaint this whole piece. And I need to do this. I need to sand it really carefully because I don't want to mess up the part that's light gray there. They don't seem to be, they're kind of raised up actually. So that's partially it's good. Oh, that'll be tedious. You know, I can just do that now. I'm just going to start working on that now because then I might need to reprime this. I'm not sure. And then I need to do this on the one on the for the other engine. You can see it. You can see the raised edge of the circle there. See how obvious it's becoming. Probably the only good thing about this is that it's mostly raised up. It's clear when it's clear when it's off. Well, I mean, at least it's possible to clean it up like that, but it's, kind of an awkward place, and this whole part needs to be washed, and I think what I'll do is think I'll reprime it, actually. The paint will be kind of piling up on this, but still, um, better than having this circle on it, and then, you know, so I'm gonna get the same part from the other engine, the one that's in the box there, and I'm gonna do the same thing with it. Okay, well, that cleaned up fairly easily compared to what it could have been. Whoa, why do I have this here? Wow, talk about messiness. I wonder, I don't know, I'm tempted to be lazy here and not spray primer on it, but just paint it. But I'm not going to paint it today anyway. So I might as well just give this a little a primer there. And I don't know, or I might just paint it. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it there. But I need to get the one from the other engine, because this has the same issue. And yeah, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna reprime both of these. Now, this is a good way to use up the last, what, 10 minutes of the stream is just fixing a thing that I caught maybe just in time. All these models have circles on them, and sometimes they're in a place that's slightly hidden, but not quite. Sometimes they're just like right out in the middle of a visible surface, where they're just, it's unforgivable. Where it just has to be totally cleaned. These are kind of sort of hidden. The other one I filled in are sort of half hidden. So on Friday, I will remind everybody that I will be gone, and I keep saying maybe what I should do is tell you when I'll be back, and then I keep forgetting to look up the date I'll be returning, so I can tell you when I'll be back. But I will remind you that I'll be gone for about 3 weeks and not be working on this model during that time because I won't be here to do it. And then yeah, I'll be back for a little bit and I'll be gone again. This is like a vacation from my vacation kind of thing. When that's happening next week. Then when I get back, I have to do a family obligation to help a family member with a medical procedure. I'm going to be a driver, and then after that, we're going to be gone again, and then I'll be back for a little while, and then I'll be gone again. So for the rest of the summer, this is going to be there'll be a lot of time when I won't be doing this. Yeah, sanding. I got the sanding over a little bit too far. Let's see which of these two pieces comes out better. I might. I'm going to put this one on the spare end on the other engine. I'm going to use this one. I got impatient and caught the edges of this a little bit of the bracket. These are both going to get primed, and then this one's just going to set and wait. I'm going to put it on the other engine, and then I put this one on this engine. I messed up the detail, I think, a little bit on this. Let's see how they look when they're primed. But they need to be reprimed, so I'm going to do that. And it turns out that the back, well, actually, the paint is holding pretty well to the not primed plastic. The back hadn't been primed. And the paint is mostly holding up. Well, I'm wrong. It's not. It's just wiping right off. Look at that. What's up with that? And since it's coming off, I might as well take it off. Okay, these need to be primed front and back. I'll do the backs first and then flip them over and do the fronts. Do this, you know, between now and Friday. So On Friday, I just got a whole lot of sanding down of filler, and take a look at these after they've been reprimed, because I was wrong. The paint did not adhere to the unprimed surface. It just wiped right off. No, it was actually, that was almost amusing, almost silly amusing. Okay, I'm gonna grab a piece of cardboard here. Tape these pieces on. This is way huge compared to what I need, but if I do this now, I'll remember to get it done between now and Friday. So I'll be back on Friday. Um, um, and I'll just keep working on this. See how far I can get before I stop working on it. I might be able to get. I might be able to get. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. I have no idea how far I'm going to be able to get. So these two parts need to be primed. Okay. These need to be sanded and probably reprimed actually, because I found out that the paint doesn't really stick that well. Especially the dark. Yeah. Oh, I have to tape this anyway. So if I have to tape this anyway, I might as well mask the bottom of it. That'll work. This I can just spray some primer on, even even during the stream. This is painted that light gray color. Oh, we'll work on it. We'll work on it Friday. Um, what you see here is I have totally cluttered my work surface, made a total mess of it. Um, Violated my New Year's resolution, second year in a row, in a significant way. And yeah, I'll be back on Friday and continue to do some work on the model here. And between now and then, I might clear up some of this mess. Maybe not. Find out. Constant, constant mess. That's kind of a feature there. I'll just stuff it in this little box here haphazardly. The next time I need something, I'll have to dump the whole box in. Okay, I need to wrap up. I'm going to get these primed and reprimed, and I'll be painting one of them uh, for the engine I'm building and not painting the other one. And then I'll be cleaning some of these parts up, maybe doing some, yeah, I need to do some repriming on these. So I'll clean them. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to clean these up and prime them right away so that the primer will be dry and I'll be able to come back to them and do some assembly. Okay, that's kind of the plan. So I'll be sanding, masking, priming. I'll probably take a quick break to do the primer so I don't do it down here. Okay. And then come back and begin some assembly, I think. Yep. See you then. See you on Friday. Big what? What? Yeah. Bye. See you Friday.